God was a DJ, life a dance floor, she would be the music. That is the song that came to mind when I thought about her. She wears many hats. She's been a judge, a president of an academy. She's a designer. She is many things. You probably have even heard her voice on the radio. Today, we are hosting Hellen Mtawali. This is the Wiser and Brave Show, and I'm your host, Njeri. Welcome, 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 and again I say welcome. Welcome to the show, Hellen.
Thank you so very much, Njeri. I am so proud to see that we are actually sitting opposite each other, like not just singing, because you are once my mentee, mentor, mentee. So I mean your mentor, mentee. I'm so glad, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes.
Did you call me Hellen Mtawali? Hey, let me tell you, Awada. Hey, Hellen. Olivia, hiyo ni mama yangu.
Okay.
Akot, omolo, nyarnyakach, makine na kawuoto, taduongora their phone. Umesikia hiyo part?
Yes.
Mtawali.
Mtawali.
Yeah, did you say I wear many hats?
Yes.
That's the reason.
Okay, okay, I see now. I see the roles of the hats.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to host you.
You're
You've been
most
my
welcome.
mother. We've walked parts of this journey together.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yes, it's such an honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You are what I'd consider an early bloomer.
And Ali?
Bloomer.
Bloomer.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
added to my names, Ali Bloomer.
so did you self-discover yourself, or were you discovered?
I think it's pretty much both.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, my dad used to take me wherever he would go, and he would teach people to sing. And then you can imagine a little Hellen being there, hey, watoto, tokeni pande, imbeni na bass. So ideally, there's a lot that he put in me. So as I grew up, my mother used to ensure that when people come to the house,
Okay.
we sing as a family. And who was the director? Me, myself, and I.
Wow.
So that ideally trimmed me somehow. So I could tell, I could say that my parents actually held my hand, walked with me, talked the music talk to me.
Okay.
So somehow it was nurtured, and I started believing in myself.
Okay.
But then as I continued going in and delving into the music world, there are a few things that I had to learn.
You had to learn.
Yeah, so learned from my mentors like Kasanga, Japheth, and Japheth Kasanga, who I sang with for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Plus, thanks to him. The late Chieng Abura,
Oh, yeah.
who mentored me to be a principal, to know how to do administrative work,
Okay.
how to make decisions. Then, as I continued discovering myself, I'm Zungu at this university. I think you remember her. Her name was Dr. Roberta King. Oh, there's a knob she touched. In fact, the first knob she touched was, Hellen, your eyes. OMG. You know, we buy them for so expensive. I'm like, buy, no? Buy? Hizi ni zangu original. Hizi ni zangu. Na hizo ni zako. Actually, you know. So it was like a switch turned on.
Okay.
The minute she talked about my eyes, it was like a switch turned on. Because now, I started discovering that ideally, people admire my eyes. It gave me inferiority complex of the highest people.
Oh,
and
no.
the people who would backbite me are lose. That means, can you see the way her eyes look like that one of a Muzungu? And then I realized when I'm Luo and I understood everything they said, then I would just look back and say, umenisengenya na nimeelewa. They'd be like, oh, sitad, kumbe ni Jaluo. You know, so there are many things that I discovered on this musical path,
Okay.
apart from just what was within.
What was
Yeah.
taught to you?
Yes.
What was taught to you? So
Yes.
what role has your eyes played? Because you've mentioned
My
about
eyes.
it. Yes.
Let me tell you that for a fact. One of the reasons why I was picked on Tasker Project Fame
Yeah.
is not because of my brains, because of my eyes. I have modeled to people, just look. I think you should see some of my selfies, but and then zoom in. Cameraman, zoom in. Watu waangalie macho waone kwamba ninaona. When I was growing up, children would say, unaona, unione, unaniona, unione. So part of the reason why I got a brag is after she told me, ideally, said believing that, by the way, I have unique eyes. Then she told me the name of these eyes is Hazel.
Hazel, yeah.
So I started looking through and seeing what is Hazel. Once I discovered that, hey, kuna contracts I've received because of the Hazel Eyes. There are people I have met because they went to see the Hazel Eyes. What wanadudua mimi sinelewi. It's just their God-given. I'm like, yeah, you know, yeah. So I thank God for them.
Wow, wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. And the music scene, you have been a constant on the music scene, like since we were growing up until now.
Yeah.
Yet the music has undergone so many changes.
Yes.
How is it that you have kept the curve without being behind it?
Good question. Oh, wow. That's nice to know that I kept the curve without being behind it. It's like always ahead. One of the things that I appreciate God for is the fact that he gave me some brain enough to study and go to university and be also a creative. I tell musicians, you have 5 things in your hand. Musicians are geniuses, you know that?
Yeah.
Because a musician is a creative. A musician is able to write. That means I can listen to many speakers, synthesize the information, come up with a song. That is the gift of synthesis. You can be able to write, come up with something, a hook statement that people will tag, a tagline that people hook themselves to. Because of that gift of writing. There are those who can write elaborately. Yeah. There are those who can condense whatever has been said into one statement. And there you go. So musicians also can be, apart from creative design, etc., there's a lot that goes into creativity, the creative call, because in that way you're able to design so much, not just design yourself, interior design, anything to do with art. Look at my nails, whichever color. I can put them on. In fact, today, you're just lucky that I put on the same earring. I never put on the same earring. So when you look at this side, kuko na kitu, what did I see? Yeah, so it's creativity called, you know, and many things. One day my earrings get lost and I decide, you know what, I ain't throwing it. It's so good and it's expensive. So I tag it here and the next day I see people putting it on their head, becoming part of the regalia. So I want to say that as a creative, those 5 things, music itself, dance, drama, writing, and creativity, those go together. So as I discovered myself, I realized that one of the things that has put me before the curve is the art of creativity. So you're always discovering yourself. Even sometimes I shock myself. I'm like, was that me? Did I just do that? And I do it in passing. I do it because of the love of music. So as I do it in the love of music, I find out that, hey, madam, you're ahead. But also teaching in a university, you're always in contact with the youths and they're telling you what's on vogue. Okay. The other day I do Sarafina. I take a mother's role in Sarafina. And part of my conversation was what was going on in town. I didn't know what was Wamlambezi. Then I found myself actually telling people and warning Sarafina, you must be very careful. In this world today, you can get lost. Haven't you heard of Wamlambezi? Then the congregation goes, Wamnyonyezi. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, so that youth that I work with also put me on vogue. They fill me in with what's happening. So because I'm a natural, I enjoy doing music. I enjoy doing my stuff. I find myself always in the limelight and always doing something that's valid at that time. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I'm interested to know from the part that your parents let your hands go off to the part now where you discover you. Yes. What's the story behind? What's
the story between that section where my parents
that
had
gap?
my hands.
Yes.
And then when I discovered myself, most of the discovery happened when I was in universities as a student, as well as the exposure of now I've worked as a student, now become a professor in the university. So one of the challenges that pretty much I went through after my parents left, because my dad also used to work at this university. So there was a lot of, there was a lot of mentorship, and my father held my hand at all times when I was in the university. But when I went into the music industry, introduced to me by Anne and Japheth Kasanga, that's when I realized that sometimes you can make certain decisions and not necessarily with your parents around. So now my parents handed me over to Kasanga. Now Kasanga is not my father, not my biological father, but he played a big role in mentorship. So we would go out there, go to television shows, go into the industry, do performances, go before the president and sing, travel out and within, travel to go and and sing. And that's why I'm saying for those 15 years, I watched him. But I love the fact that when you're being mentored, there's a lot you digest, even without instruction.
All right.
You do that by observation. So that's where I started seeing what was good in music, what was not good in music. Why did I decide what to do, the genre of music that I do? Why did I go into teaching? And apparently because I studied teaching, I had to also learn and grow up, because at some point you cannot just keep waiting for your parents to make decisions. And then as I walked this journey between when my parents told me, you know what, go out. And I started going out that time with the Kina Kasanga. We go to performances. Kasanga sometimes said, I want you to go and perform in this place. I go alone, I go with them, I go with people. I started discovering that the music industry is like this. Go to the recording studio, can you back up someone? Can you actually lead in this? Had met Agnes Masika, Miss Masi Masika's mother. That was another journey. She used to take me to the studios. And as we go to the studios, she's asked me, Helen, hapa kuna pesa bwana, hapa kuna pesa. So I'll do it for the wrong reasons. Washa tuimbe tupate pesa. I found myself singing Kikuyu, Kikamba, Kimeru, whatever, because it was a job of that's in the industry where you become a background vocalist who can be able to hear certain things, get information at a glance, enter the studio, sing like as if you had practiced, but you practice in the studio. See, that's life. In the life, that's the music industry. Then go to know different genres of music, which one I appreciate, which one I don't appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So which is the worst blunder you have done musically so far up until now? The thing you'd look back that probably gave you a shift or made you probably reconsider?
Really reconsider what?
Maybe you're taking a certain path and you probably want to have a bias for something else.
Oh, really? Do I have worsts? You know, music, ideally, I relate to any genre, any type. But maybe in the area of performance, maybe if you want to say my worst experience. Yeah, so this time I was going to sing and I was invited to sing in City Hall. But one of those, I don't know what, it was a Kegosho night. I think it was who? What's her name? Mambo Sawa Sawa. Reverend
Pamoyo.
Yes, Reverend Pamoyo. She invited me to sing. She used to have meetings. They called Queen's Night. Yes. So I go on this stage, and apparently this stage is covered by cloth. Kumbe kuna tushimo. There are some tushimos there. Hey. And I didn't know. So I sang, did my stuff, etc. Thank God I was putting on a trouser. Hey. And my leg, I was going to down the stairs, but then took another corner. But I saw some people look at me like, apparently when I entered that section, my leg just went deep. I can't remember, the rest is history. But I had a scar. I think I can show you the scar. See, kama ni scar. Yeah, I actually garnered a scar from there. Nakumbukanga ni mambo sawa sawa show. I fell down, but I remembered I'm a karateka. What I could hear from the congregation was, woo! Hey, the way I turned that thing to be like a performance. It was part of the show. I was actually even singing from the ground. Then I said, people clapped, you know, like that. It's like, yeah, so that was the shocker for me, but I didn't take it as a shocker. I quickly gathered the situation, hey, and I outlived it. And in my mind, I said, you know what, it was part of the performance. Wake up. And as I woke up slope in style. You know, like nothing happened. And I was able to do that well. The next one was when I went and I was singing, you know the way women put on extensions? I think it was too humid, that place, and my hair was too soft. It was too much chemical, too wet. And as I was singing and the extension is filling with me, and the extension anambia ngoja natoka pole pole. I had something here heavy. I was like, I can't remember that there was something on my back, but this was the extension coming back down. It has smoothly moved down. I quickly made that part of my performance, removed it and said, you know, hata ukikimbia, and made threw it to somebody's face, and they're like, wow, it was going. If I let it fall down, it was going to be very embarrassing. But because I made it part of my performance, I walked out there, catwalking, with my hair just a tiny thing like this, and I walked like, yeah, you know what? I took my hair and threw it to somebody, and it became part of my performance. It was a wrong thing, wrong situation, but then I turned it for my good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes.
So much energy, so much vibe into this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, creativity is really who you are. It's really who you are.
It has to be. It has to be, especially for a singer and a performer. Make everything find value. Even if it was your nail that dropped. Yeah. Pick it up and probably say, ha, kids ole, meanguka tafadhali. Nipateni glue. Paka glue pole sema, yeah, it's back to normal. Make it as normal as possible without feeling like a shame on me. Yeah, make it part of the experience, yes.
All right. So how do you get to think so quickly on your feet like that?
I don't know. I think probably it must have been my experience as a teacher at Desa University. Okay. When you go to class and you realize your notes are all disappeared and you're like, I thank God that I studied it. Now the information is in my head and you have to go on for 2 hours. Yeah. Or if possible, maybe 1.5 hours. And you're like, where are my notes? That's where you quickly think, you know what? You guys are going to be part of my teaching. So, group work. If you saw a teacher who's giving you group work, at least you know confrontations. Then the other thing is, one day I sing with Mr. Mtawali. And as I sing, Mr. Mtawali is my husband. So I sing with him. And apparently my words disappear. I can't remember the lyrics to a song, to the song was singing. So I quickly made up. Guess what? The section I made up was the most applauded for.
Wow.
So I said, wait. Hey. I know that time your heart is beating big time. And I walked to the front like as if I knew. Made whoever was around there part of my performance. I don't even know how I got the words. Then I tried in a show in the US. We've done, in the US we're scheduled to do of about 300 shows. Every day like 3 shows for 100 days. Then one of the shows, I just got bored with this song, man. I have sung it for the last 50 shows. It's the same thing, Bwana. What do? I took the sermon, made it part of the song, and the frizzle flowed. And that was the best song I did. Wow. So I realized, you know what? I could actually create. And from then on, hey, you can't find me singing at your copyright from beginning to the end in a fanana too. Vile sauti sola memba. I gotta put some Hellen inside there mpaka sauti sola uliza. Hiyo ilikuwa verse yetu ama si verse yetu? Hey, Hellen alipitia hapo, alipita katikati yao. I have to make a way because we are doing, like you say, we're creative. So create. Create. I make sure that I also create knowledge. Find a way. Tone deafs who come to me most of the time, they want to know how to sing. I have to find a way to make them know how to sing. So create it, and then before you know it, blow the trumpet and tell them, I found out, find a method. That's what they do in the US, or that's what they do, create knowledge creators. You find a way to create it and make everybody believe that that's a gospel truth. Before you know it, M-Pesa inafanyika mpaka Mombasa. M-Pesa imefika mpaka Europe. Watu wanafanya M-Pesa huko nini. Na hiyo ilikuwa ndoto ya mtu mmoja. I was just dreaming and the pesa came. Before you know it, it was calling it cash up. Cash up, ngo hiyo ni pesa yetu. Ndio knowledge mtu aliheba, copywriting. Muhindi anatoka huko anakuja na own kitu hapa. Kabla afanye ownment, you must own it. And that's the beauty of creativity. Okay. Hata nywele sikumbuke nilienda last kwa saloon wapi. Mimi naweza badilisha nywele hata mara 6 kwa siku. Yes, you can change it. That's a creativity call. You don't want to look the same time. And my experience in the US is what changed it. Okay. Because we're expected to go to a concert, expected to look like a celebrity. And you cannot go to a parlor to look at the parlorist, and then parlorist anakupatia $1,000 peke yake ya kuangalia mtu wa pala. Hata sema, let me see the hair type. Hair type ango. Huku kama medicine ninyoe itaanza tena. Kama hiyo ninyoa, kama sijanyoa, niingie supermarket. Nipate nywele inafanya na mimi yangu bado ni yangu. It is mine. Go there and get creative and make it. And you can look what you want to look because of the creativity call. I love it. Wow. I love it. It actually flows everywhere I go. You become a creative. Okay. Yes. Hata hizi viatu niliona kama nataka bling mahali. Tafuta ka bling. Gonga hapo kwani msungu tango. utaona kama hapo creativity viatu yangu inafanana kuwa duka lakini ikifika kwa mguu yangu ni yangu. And it was some touch of Hellen Mtawali.
Okay.
Somebody.
So
Yeah.
You say there's something you said that you like you can't do the same, you can't sing the same song, you can't sing the same song the same way 100 times.
Yes.
Is this the reason why if I walk into a music store, I'm not likely to find your records?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, I'm not likely to
Apparently
find your
entrepreneurship was very close to our home. But ilipita tu hapa, ilipatia US kidogo tu. Mtu alisema kubali kama business sio yako, kubali. Mimi ni mtu nikienda kwa duka kupatia watu, I will just look at you na umevaa kofia kali sana designer na kupatia CD bure. Hey, I give you a tell you know what? There's empathy, there's a philanthropic, feel whatever. Yeah, that side of me that I feel like honestly if I was to do business, I would lose daily. Because I am a person who can decide, okay, hey, you have touched my heart. Take the whole shop. Take it. So my music ideally is not available in the stores.
Yes.
But we discovered another digital way of selling this music. So you find my music on Spotify, you find my music on iTunes, you find my music all over. On YouTube ndio imenishinda. YouTube, but Facebook and everywhere. And I believe also inspiring people through my music. So when you come to my classes, the examples I use, it's my music. So if you want, you can keep it. You also find that places that I teach or places that I talk, I do motivational talks, I go with my music. I'll get that money direct instead of having middlemen. Because one of the ways during our time, when you did CDs, they were pirated big time. So you see, you're a big person, your music is all over, but you don't get the benefits. So that's what discouraged me from kind of like having to find music on the stores. And even the people who actually do that store business are thieves. Not all, but some. Where you give them your real copy, they will make their own copy and sell their copies and let your copy stay on the shelf. Yes. So the rest of the shelf, sorry, we've not sold them. Sorry. Kumbe anauza copies zake, lakini copies zako bado zinlala pale ontararira utakuja jua siku moja. So when I saw that daddy business, I was like, you know, why don't I talk to my people? They can pay that directly to me, or let me just use other means of making business, not necessarily having to put my CDs on the stores.
All right. This is the point where we take a break, but don't go too far because it's fun right here. And we'll be back just like that. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are having the time of our life with our guest today, Hellen Mtawali. She has many other names, but for now, let's stick to Hellen Mtawali.
Right.
So, have you always been this bubbly? Like, is there a story? Is there a Hellen that we do not know, other than the bubbly, energetic girl that we know? Yeah.
Like I said, in the industry, you tend to learn a lot as a creative, and in my journey of exploring who I am, I realized that I've got many sides. Yes. So remember Tasker Project fame, I was a principal. So there's a harsh side of me.
Yes.
There's that serious side of me that does things on point.
Yes.
There's Hellen the teacher.
Yes.
Who is able to understand this person is growing. I want to nurture them. There's Hellen the mentor, who mentors. My students tell me, Mom, we love you, we love your heart, but hiyo roho yako iko na kitu ile hatutaki. I tell them, what is it? You are over understanding, which I think probably it's not that I'm over understanding. I had to learn, and there are several things in this life that have changed me. Now, apart from that, I'm a musician, I'm a dancer. I used to choreograph music. Remember on Afrizo?
Yes.
I would choreograph music, just so that you know. Njeri was my mentee. Like at Desa University, one of the guys who sang in my music team. Yeah. So that side of me, there's that side of me. Many people don't know that I like to joke, I like to laugh, and that's my father.
Yeah.
My father really is a comedian, and he used to be Father Christmas. when I was growing up. So when we have Christmas, he'd be the guy who gives people gifts, and that's the philanthropic Hellen.
Okay.
You know, I'm a philanthropist, courtesy of what I learned from my dad. But also there is the aspect of having studied at Daystar, done so much, done this. There's the way music made me come out, and in the industry. The pedestal where I was put after Tusker Project Fame, at a point I knew that I am the people who matter. Naweza kukuchuna mapua nikwambie, do you know me? Do I know you? You should know people. Yeah, because Tusker Project Fame did a lot for me. And of course, I know the people who are wondering why I'm working for a secular, you know, and company, and why not Christian, etc. I had, you know, long story cut short, but I had a lot to learn, even from Tusker Project Fame, that I'm actually working with people. I had to work with people who are very fragile, but then still bring them out so that they can be beneficial to the, you know, to our society and a lot. But now coming to Hellen, the things that have tamed me, you know, the things that actually can tame you. One is marriage.
Okay.
So I marry an opposite completely. Hellen is bubbly, yuko kila mahali, umetoka wapi, umekuja wapi. Now that's part of what I have learned in the industry, because I ended up being an MC because of my, you know, of many things. So I realized that not everybody likes to joke. So I have a serious man bwana in the house. Ule unaweza kuangalia TV ukasema, jamani bwana, wamfanya nini? Wewe imeenda wapi hiyo mpira? Imeenda pande gani? Atakwambia, si una macho umeona? Asema, okay, try again. Asema, jamani, kwani ndio leo wanaleta news saa ngapi bwana, wanchelewa? Ataniambia, umeona tayari imesema kuchelewa. Bado swali gani? Mimi sifanyi kazi huko. Nasema, okay, come back again. Mr. Husband, I got some food for you. Nasema, suti hapo alafu ndio shughuli zako wewe. Nasema ndugu yangu, ukajua vile walifundisha comedy hapa, ni sawa. So I come back again and say, alright, nikutolee dandruff kwa kichwa ndio usikie vizuri, wacha nifanyie massage. Akasema, madam, kama wapenda massage fanya, kama vitoto vinachezewa basi acha kichwa yangu. Nikasema ndugu yangu, wacha tu nikumassage anyway. So we have massage etc. So a lot I have learned from my husband, being the serious person, until I learned that some people, it's not their forte to just be happy-go-lucky. No, change, you have to know how to adjust. I can only ask my questions to my husband if they're important and if I know that they require an answer. Not just asking a question for the sake of a question. That has helped me to deal with people like that.
Okay.
So that I will not take an offense when they are not in the mood.
Okay.
It's just them. Daystar taught me that there's something called temperament. It shaped my life. So I need to know that and to understand you. If you're a cameraman who loves to eat, I need to understand that I got to make sure that the food is available. Ukule chakula mpaka uangalie na macho. Toseka. Not force it into you, etc. You live your life, etc. So I learned how to live my life. Then I get to the airport after Tusker Project Fame 1, Project Fame 2, and I go to the airport and everybody recognizes me. And then I go to London, and I get to London. I meet this guy who says, madam, how are you? Where are you from? Who are you?
Thinking, who are you?
The whole of Kenya inanijua, wewe unasema who are you? Anyway, wewe ni msongo, huwezi jua na uangaliangi TV yetu, you know? So I take time and pretty much like understand. But I go to every church. The very first time we go to the US, every church, everyone asks me, this is how you come out now. Who are you? Who are you? I answered, who are you in 28 different states. Do you how many different churches? Same question. Don't to me. Unafikiri we ni celeb? Bado hujafika ngambo. And madam, I made sure the next time I go, they will be calling me by name. Hellen! Hellen! Hapo nikasema, okay, who are you? Imesajibiwa hapo. Bado imebaki state ingine ile bado sijaenda. And you know what? Daystar still made me experience that because we went to places that we had not been. So I'll still answer that. That to me was very humbling.
Okay.
Because I said, you might have it all in your head that you're renowned. Yeah, but you just might not. Yeah. Because you've not gone to France and all the French men recognize you. You haven't gone to the US and they all know you. You haven't been to the US. Thank God! Britain's Got Talent, I'm coming. Nimeitwa huko. Kwenda kufanya Britain's Got Talent. Niko inadi nakuja. Alafu you see her tumeenda huko nimeshakuwa judge all the time. And then when I say, who's that? Oh my gosh, madam, bring it down. What was that you said? Oh, in Jesus name nimecancel Leo. Hakuna wataniona na wakiniona wasikie Kenya na tunaenda kuimba Kijaluo. Britain's Got Talent. Kijaluo unakuja hapo mpaka uje musikie wa South Africa wanaringa na Zulu. Zulu si tutaringa na Kijaluo yetu mpaka musikie sisi tukiongea capital letters. Hey, where biro mayaoneo. Imagine kwa contest. All the Luos, but including Raila, will be like, hey, Manogor, Elad mepeleka Gor Mahia huko. Anyway, so I must thank God that my experiences in this life, part of what has shaped me is the fact that I was able to travel wide and understand people from their own culture. Now to finish, this is an experience I had when I got married. Like now, sasa nimekaa miaka 3 bado sijapata mtoto. And serious best wanajua sengenya, nakwambia wale watakusengenya mpaka ushangae. Haya mama basi, haya habari ya watoto, sasa hiyo hata una moja. Nikasema ndio bwana yangu yuko salama. Bwana si ni mtoto, si anarusha socks kama watoto. Bwana si anapiki wangu, ndio bwana ako salama sana. Akasema haya basi wangapi? Hata mmoja bado huja. Nikasema bwana ni moja. The rest history watakuja. Then 3 years down the line I get pregnant. Okay. And I give birth. Hey, hapo nilijipata hospitali msingi, nimeamua sitarudia tena. Hata mnidanganye, sitarudi huko.
Okay.
You know, it's very humbling to give birth. And my birth was very complicated. Okay. That's a story for another day. Apparently that's the reason why I have one child. Nikasema wacha watu wazae. Mkipenda kuzae ndeni muzae. Mimi wacheni. Leave me alone. Dikwenda. Ndio. Kama uende upate hiyo mimba ni rahisi na ni tamu, lakini baadaye staki. And I told God, God, ni mimi nimepitia through this situation. Ni mimi nimepitia. God say patia wengine mimba. Mimi hebu nisari. Na utanipata hapo ndani. Niaje. Hey. So, I can take care of other people's children, which is ideally true. I have my one daughter who has brothers and sisters. Who those who have stayed in my house na wapenda sana mpaka kina Manibaya, all musicians by the way. Most of the ones from the coast hapa kwangu ndo ndugu zake Neema yule. Okay. Wacha nibaki nao moja. Wengine wakipenda wazae. Mniache hivyo sitaki. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So, what is the greatest thing you'd say you have unlearned?
Unlearned?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
See, my daughter reminds me all the time. So now she's 18 years old.
Okay.
And in 18 years old, this is a different era. It's not like then.
Yeah.
Where my parents would come home, na kama ujaoga, my mother would come there and say, Akot, why have you not gone to the bathroom? Why haven't you? Na sisi tutachukua mamangu ni mkali sasa, hiyo tumechukua tumafuta tumepaka Vaseline na Vaseline imepira laini hapa, huku ni vumbi, Vaseline mahali mkono ilipita hapa umechora laini etc. Hey. So my parents, my mother as a teacher, principal of several primary schools, I knew that your life has to be shaped until my daughter came. And my daughter is one of, like, she's got part of the father where the father is mnyamavu and the father is a researcher. The father knows so much, has knowledge, as a company that is renowned in the world for translation. And my daughter takes up to this, and my daughter is a researcher, knows so much. I cannot have a conversation with her. So they can have a conversation because both of them are researchers. Then when I stayed there, they're both looking at you like, madam, excuse me, university professor, singer, renowned. You have not read this book? I'm like, I'm a performer. Mukipenda kuangalia news, angalieni peke yenu. Mukitaka kusoma vitabu someni. Mimi nasoma the music. So I found challenge. So despite growing up in a family where my mother was bullet theory, what I say must work, I had to unlearn to start listening to her. That ideally they mean well when they tell me about certain things they know I don't know. I just need to listen.
Yeah.
So all the time they were like, we huskizi wewe, we huskizi. I'm like, sisikizi aje. Si uniyoi masikio yangu hapa nasikia. Can't you see me sitting down here trying to understand? So I realized that they enjoy conversations with themselves, my husband and my daughter, because they are researchers and they talk about everything that's happening. They listen to news, etc. But me, my news is from the Bible. And I'm not ashamed to say that, there's so much going into the life of a musician who is versatile like me. You have no time to sit down for news. I'd rather hear news from you, hear news from online, but on the TV, that one I had to unlearn. Actually, first of all, I had a distaste for TV. You never find me sit down to look at the TV like that. No. What do you want me to understand? News, whatever. There's everybody talking about everything on Facebook and whatever. So if it's news, I'll know. I just go to the news feeds. I'll know what's happening. If I want to know news, I can also write a standard, Google standard, East Africa standard or whatever. I can Google KTN, whatever, and find it on YouTube and find the information I need to know.
Okay.
So why should I? So I had to unlearn not being able to shout at my daughter the way my mother used to, because ideally, as you grow up, you want to do some of the things your mother does. Some did, and some of the things your father did. My father never beat us. So I even stopped beating my daughter, because one day when she was class 5, she had not done something, an assignment I gave her. So I told her, Nema, lala hapa chini, huwezi kucheza na mama yako hivyo. I went and got a tarimbo, ni mushipi. I was coming to beat her. My daughter went on her knees and says, Heavenly Father, my mother will go to hell because of an experience like this. So she's prayed for me. I laughed. I did not beat her from that day until today. It was just the other day I got worked up and I decided to what happened. Nilichapa mtoto, and eventually I realized that my daughter was suffering mentally because of too much information.
Okay.
I had to find a way to sort this out. That I had to unlearn. That instead of chastising my daughter, we would actually create a conversation. And today we are greatest of friends, because every day she will check on me. I know the time she checks on me. Every day she will find out what's up. Every day we have conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So you had to learn to just calm down
Calm
from
down.
that authoritative.
And she tells me, Mom, everybody listens to you outside. You're a motivational speaker. You are a star. You have stardom inside you. But now, come back home. Here we have to
in
strike
front
a deal.
of those hazel eyes is your daughter, not some community out there.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
So I had to unlearn that. Yeah.
Amazing. Now you have a program running.
Yes.
African Online
Vocalists. Yeah.
Tell us about
Now,
it.
Africa Online Vocalists is as a result of some training that I started on Facebook.
Okay.
After Corona, I said, you know what? I teach a number of people, and I don't want them to just be idle.
Okay.
How about using my profile page on Facebook to give some information?
Okay.
And then test, like a teacher. A teacher must always test. And I saw people getting interested. So on day 1, I started giving the information, people would pack. Day 2, a different pack of people would still come in. Day 3, I was like, you know what, let me do a series. So I tried, first of all, part 1 and did an exam. If you did an exam, did well, I would give you a certificate. But I was like, how do I make a certificate? I would get someone, contract someone to do the certificate. And I'm like, but that is just part 1. How about I just do a series and bring it out in terms of modules? So I realized that after that, students would follow me in my inbox.
Yes.
And then came Zoom. Then came Google Meet. Part of what the government had instructed me to do through Nairobi Performing Arts Studio.
All right.
So I started online learning through that venture of teaching people on Google Meet or Zoom. I didn't like Zoom though, because of the way it looks. It was Google Meet was user friendly, and again, it's pretty much because that's what I would use with Nairobi Performing Arts Studio.
Right.
So the government, through Nairobi Performing Arts Studio, just didn't give me some students. Give me about 150 students.
Wow.
Which I would teach like in parts, not very hard to do.
Okay.
So I said, what about if I introduce the same for these ones that I teach on Facebook? So I realized that they were interested.
Yeah.
So from Facebook, took them to Zoom, started charging them, not a lot. just a few, to make them get interested. You know, sometimes you give people free things,
Yes.
they won't give value.
Yeah.
So I charge them a little just to show that they, you know, commit to the training. And before I know it,
Yeah.
government gives us, we have over 4,000 students now from Nairobi Performing Arts Studio.
Wow.
And now the competition that I tried for NPAS and it went viral.
Okay.
Then I went and started now my own. I said, how about then if I did this? Did a competition through a few of my friends like Okango, who would do what is that now? Analysis for how the students are doing online. So he's an ICT guy. And then through a few of my friends like Evelyn Shield, Rodrigo. Rodrigo studied at KU.
Okay.
And these two people have been very instrumental. Then I started getting partners. Tabitha Ogango, Ian Bogwa,
Yes.
Fila Tuju. Today we have Edu Sarakasi, Movie, Regina Ray. Before I knew it, all the celebrities ideally started joining in. There's a lady who wrote about what I did for NPAS called Caroline Kiru. Yeah, she works for Standard, but a freelance journalist. So she wrote an article.
Yeah.
And the article was titled, hey, probably Tasker Project Fame has moved into Facebook. And guess what?
Yeah.
Most of the people I work with on Tasker Project Fame are on board.
Wow.
So I said, why not? And they enjoy it. Now instead of having the little briefs of parts of the course, I said, at Daystar, I'm an educationist. I can create a syllabus, not created for this, created for Tasker Project Fame. Why not AOV? I created a syllabus. And before I know it, everybody started buying into it. And so I had Facebook vocalists, which turned into Africa Online vocalists. And I was able to bring all these partners on. Today, I recruited Josh. Remember Amesh and Josh? Yeah, so Josh is going to join us tonight for a show that we have. We don't just teach them on music alone. We call it the vocalists, but also able to know that these vocalists can be versatile. So we are redefining the vocalists to know that there are different avenues. We don't want to just suffer because ideally, like now Corona we have no places to entertain. But you are a creative, you are a drama person, you can MC stuff, you are a dancer, you could be a dancer. So we let the students or the contestants explore that. So if you go on Africa Online Vocalists, you can see them exploring all these 5 pillars. And I tell you, they surprise us. Some of the musicians who we think are so blatant and just off are hilarious. They would pass for Churchill Live if they used to do that. Now, the other niche that we have for Africa Online Vocalists, remember it's Africa, hoping that we can be able to tap musicians from all over the world who can give us that African identity. So when we started Africa Online Vocalists Part 2, Season 2, we had people from Canada, from Qatar, from Iraq, from South Sudan, and the winner was from South Sudan. The winner right now, I mean, then was South Sudan, but the South Sudanese in the house, giving people a run for their money. Because we feel like when South Sudan has all of a sudden become a musical country. Yeah, so it's doing very, very well. Currently, we have singers from Nigeria. That's the Iyamu Osaretin, who I was trying to talk to the other day, right now, giving him responsibility for my class because I'm here now. So now, we go get somebody from Niger. He's a Ido, passing from Niger land.
So does that mean it's open to everyone as much as open. It's African Online Vocalists? It's open to everyone, yes. But in the world? Yes, in the world. And that's why I'm saying we have partners from all over the world and different parts. This one has a lot of people from outside, and we are thanking God that we can be able to partner. And it has made it so easy for us to make this they say the world is a global village. Before we know it, we are able to communicate. The way we would communicate to somebody who is here is the same way we're doing for somebody out there. And the beauty of online study is somebody uses and can define where they want to perform and just send us videos of that, and we celebrate with you. All right. So if I want to be on AOV, what do I need to do?
If you want to be on AOV, what you need to do is wait for the next season to show, and then we usually have a lot of applications. But you'll be chosen on the criteria of your ability to sing well, teachability, because you can listen to someone, you can tell this one is a teachable spirit. But there are those who are so braggiest, they look like they're braggers, you know. Yeah, sometimes we even use just, you know what, we just use random picking
Pick method.
or a few, but usually those who now go for the training are 50. We choose 50.
Okay.
From 50, they tone down. Right now, from the 50 we had, we have 25, yeah, who are on the finalists.
Okay.
It's like almost half of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
dropped out. Now, some
Okay.
of them would drop out because of the longevity. And this is the twist in Africa Online Vocalists. Where in other competitions you're chased out, Africa Online Vocalists has a way to handle them. I won't tell you until you just go and listen and watch. Yeah, so we handle them differently. We don't chase them away. We say, chase them away for who? Yeah, that's why we now put it, not just the competition and award ceremony, but also training. So that by the time we're done, we are graduating judges in the industry so that we can have people who can judge music and they get places to judge. We get teachers. Not everybody knows how to teach contemporary musicians. They get tools and methods of teaching those who want to sing on the spot so that we don't have music flooding this industry and it's not music that's worthy, you know. Yeah, they also get training to get, we get training for teachers, to training for judges, get training for now in their different fields. Back to the 5 pillars to see what you're strong at. Are you a social media person who people just get attracted to? Are you an influencer? We will award you for being an influencer. And that's what has come up lately. So that's ideally providing jobs for people.
All right.
We also find out whether you're a dancer. Edu is there to train you on dance and see whether you can have ears and eyes for choreography and the body. Not 2 left feet. We have drama, NPAS. The reason why NPAS is there is for drama. But that's where NPAS, Nairobi Performing Arts Studio, is renowned for. We are renowned for drama and music. So we equip them that way too. And also the music itself, we know there could be those who are recording artists and not performing artists or vice versa. Then finally, we have those who have a skill in writing. Not everybody wants to go out there. Those who can write become journalists and blogists for the sake of those singers.
Okay, amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So if I need to follow you on your socials, I could follow you as a musician.
Yes.
Maybe seeking musical advice.
Yes.
What else, if I need to follow you, what could I follow you for?
Okay. What could you follow me for?
Yeah.
This is a
other than
versatile
music,
person.
yes.
Other than music, you are a linguist. You want to know how to explore languages. My dad taught me that. I speak 16 languages. Okay, I will talk to you and let's see. Because sometimes that's one of the things I learned from Desa, that there are people who come in and English is not their first language. So we exchange. Teach me Amharic, I teach you English. That way I will start knowing how to operate. Little did I know one day after learning Amharic that I would land in Ethiopia. And I became a celebrity for 1 week because I learned how to speak Amharic and I could sing in Amharic. I start singing, they see me and say, they go, they're happy. It does something. Imagine a Chinese coming here and they can hear you. Hey, modo akwa, modo ajumba. Hey, Morio. How would you feel? That's our Chinese. So language has a different part and something, a certain muscle that it touches. If you also want to follow me because I'm a dancer. I'm an instrumentalist.
Okay, yes.
I am designer.
Yes.
And hair, both hair, interior design, everything. I have just an eye for art. But I also karateka. Nilijifunza karate for defense. I have been talking to high schoolers the other day, and one of the topics that we talked to high schoolers and girls, largely with my friend Rodrigo, when we have our Zoom sessions, is don't be depressed. But also you know that as a girl you can defend yourself. So we teach people how to defend ourselves. Hii mwili ilikuwa kubwa lakini kuna vile muscle ilikuwa ilipreziwa na nyama lakini it's not mean that I'm fit. One of the things I thank God for karate, for learning karate and judo, is those tactics will still remain in your head. Even though you might have some weight gained, the tactics will stay in style. So you can actually be able to see at an eye where your attacker comes from and how you can defend yourself.
Okay.
And then you can also come to me as a mother and a mentor, because if anything, many people come to me for that, and they need to know that in all this versatility, there's God. So you want to walk with Christ. I have learned a lot from the Christian walk. You can talk to me and then let's have that conversation of deep things that you don't think you might maybe open up to someone, and maybe I could provide a solution. This largely for the musicians in the industry. Some of them end up being tortured brain-wise. They end up depressed because of this thing called celebrity. You become a celebrity and you don't know how to live right. You don't know how to live within your means. You live outside it, and then you get frustrated. Before we know it, this person who was so hailed is now depressed. This person who was so renowned now doesn't have friends. There's a limit, and there's a way you have to make and break even. There's a way you actually have to handle yourself and live real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you kindly give us your handles?
All right. Regina Ray always likes to say that after telling people so much, you must refer them somewhere where they can find you. My YouTube channel is Hellen Mtawali. Just Google Hellen Mtawali or search Hellen Mtawali. It will all come up, everything I've done. And my channel on YouTube is the least. Aina subscribers wengi. Labda wengi utafanya ikuwe na subscriber wengi. So subscribe and come and join me. And then there's a lot we do with J. Rodrigo. Some of what we do with J. Rodrigo is publicized on J. Rodrigo. I hold his hand because part of the reason why we need to actually live together is so that we can be able to team play. I'm a team player. So J. Rodrigo usually publishes our stuff from Africa Online Vocalists, but also on Facebook. My name is Hellen Mtawali. Check me out on my page, Hellen Mtawali, or Hellen Akoth Mtawali. That's my profile page. On Instagram, I am Pretty B. Pretty, yeah, even at 50, I'm pretty B. Or you can check me out on as Hellen Mtawali or at Hellen Mtawali. You'll find me on Instagram, or just andika tu Hellen Mtawali. It will bring for you Hellen Mtawali. Hao sio wengine ni mimi, watawali. Sio watawali. You can find me there. LinkedIn is Hellen Akoth Mtawali. Find me there and let's have a chat.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It's been sparks, laughter, comedy. We totally appreciate that.
Thank you.
Wow. Finally, we come to the end of the show today. It was amazing, and I totally appreciate you. I thank you for your support. It makes every difference, every important difference. And if you haven't followed us yet, kindly visit our YouTube, our Facebook, and our Instagram, all at Jicho TV Kenya. And from the Wiser and Brave family, it's Namaste.